Good day, my fellow South Africans. We're back and we today looking at once again a trigonometry question. This is a grade 11 building on grade 12 topic of trigonometry. We have the given tan of x is equals to square root of 5, where x is an element of 90 and 270 degrees. Now that is important. I'm first going to use that information because it's quite valuable. I'm going to write it down as tan of x is equals to square root of 5. Alright? That is the given information for question number 5. Then, what does that mean? X is an element of 90 to 270 degrees. What does that mean? It means, yes, x, and we know that 90 starts there. That is from 0 till 90. This is 180 and this is 270. So that gives me an indication that it should be between those two quadrants. But what further do I go from this part? Tan of x is equals to square root of 5. But square root of 5 is a negative or positive? It's positive. And what kind of function am I dealing with? Tan. Where is tan positive? Where else?
First quadrant.
First and third quadrant. For this, I would go draw a sketch for x like this on the Cartesian plane. And I would say this is my x-axis, my y-axis, and I would draw a radial like that. My x is going to be that. That is the side of x. Then from this I have, what do I have here? 1. Anything can be written over 1, so that tells me what is tan again? Tan is opposite over adjacent. The opposite side here is square root of 5. But we know because it's in this quadrant, it will actually be a negative. And then this must also be negative 1. What is missing here? My radius or my hypotenuse. So how can I determine that? By means of Pythagoras. I'm going to say r squared is equals to
X squared
negative square root 5 squared plus negative 1
squared.
That gives me
5 plus 1.
Plus 1 square root of 6. That's r squared and then this plus. That means this one here is square root of 6. Now, that wasn't the only thing that they gave me. They gave me also and square root 2 cos y plus 1 is equals to 0, where sign is greater than 0. That information is quite important. I'm going to start from the back. This is for y. I'm going to write down everything given to me. Square root 2 cos y plus 1 is equals to 0. What else did they give me? Where sign is greater than 0.
First and second.
First and second. If I go here and I want to make cos the subject here, I'm going to take first the 1 over, so that becomes cos y is equals to square root 2 of cos y is equals to negative 1. Alright, that took the 1 over. Now the 1 over. Now I want to get rid of the square root. How do I do that? Divide on both sides by square root. It's going to be cos y is equals to negative 1 over square root 2. You can see that cos is actually what? Negative. Where is cos negative? Second and third. Which one do you think, where is my y angle going to be? Second quadrant. There I draw my y angle. I'm going to draw a sketch for myself like that, and this is going to be my y angle in the second quadrant. I'm going to say this is the angle of y lying there, and then 90 degrees there going down, my 90 degrees there. What does cos mean again? That's negative 1, and this is square root of 2. We can go work this out by Pythagoras. How can we work this out? We can say we have r squared is equals, we want to work out y. So y squared is equals to r squared minus x squared is equals to square root of 2 squared minus square root of negative 1. Now I know the answer already, and I hope you have seen the answer, but I'm just doing this for practice sake. So this is what actually?
3.
It's
2
minus 1, which equals to 1. The square root of 1, which equals to y is equals to positive or negative 1. But on this side it will be a positive 1 because it's above the line. Now we have all our information. You see, I haven't even looked at the questions, but I've simply done and taken the information. And sometimes that is important. You have to take the information, analyze the information, and sometimes you want to go straight and answer the question because there you see a 5-mark question, but you haven't analyzed the information. In that line, there's a lot of stuff happening. Now they ask you, determine the following using relevant diagrams. I've already done my prep work. My preparation is done. Now I can almost answer any question that is relevant to this. Sometimes we look at the questions and we think the questions are going to solve themselves without doing any prep work. What is success? Success is when preparation meets the opportunity. So sometimes we want to be successful, but we haven't done the preparation. Then we say, I want to answer this question, but we haven't done any preparation. And a part of preparation, if you think about other stuff now, is being in the classroom, being active and engaging in the lesson. That is also part of preparation. Now, when you go to a test, that is your opportunity. And where those two meet, that event can be successful if you give the right output. Everything in life is actually, or can be related back to mathematics. So here we have now the question 3.1. which we say sine squared of x, and then over cos squared of y. I go now and I go, this is my x angle and this is my y angle. What would sine squared x be?
Negative square root 5.
Negative square root 5
Over square root 6.
over square root 6, but this also needs to be squared. Divide by, now I go to this one. Now I don't go to that diagram because the reference there is y, right? Negative 1 over square root 2. Everything squared. If I simplify this, if I simplify this, it's going to be positive 5 over 6 divided by 1 over 2. I have a nice thing here, revisiting algebraic fractions that we did in the beginning of the year. Once I'm doing division of fraction, I can multiply with that beautiful word. What is that?
Reciprocal.
Reciprocal. So that's going to be 5 over 6 multiplied with
2 over 1.
That 6 goes into himself. Sorry, it goes into that 2 once and it goes into that 3 times. Yeah? We want to simplify, so that becomes 5 times 1. That's going to be my answer, is 5 over 3. Final answer. You can leave it as that, or you can simplify to 1 and 2/3. If you really want to. Alright, so that's the first one there. Let's see if there's another one for us to do. 3.2. So 3.2 is cos 180. 3.2 is cos 180 plus x. What is 180 plus x again? In which quadrant are we working? Basically they are referring just to this. Alright, so I'm first going to do the reduction. What are they actually asking me here is cos of x. What is cos of x going to be here? Negative 1 over square root 6. And there we go. Now we're moving on to the next question. Question number 4. Question number 4 is where they say, if, just see if you can get a glimpse of this, I will do a screen grab.
Yes, sir.
If, question number 4, if 2 sine x minus square root 3 is equals to 0 and cos is less 0. Less than 0, find the following using a relevant diagram. Alright, I'm going to clean up here and then I'm going to do that question. I want you guys as a class now, as a collective, help me in answering these questions because I forgot. Just question number 4 for now. Alright, what is the prep work that I'm going to do? Anyone? I'm going to write down question number 4, 2 sine x. And I want you to do this one with me, please, learners. Is equals to 0. And then I'm going to take that information of cos of
X.
Cos of x is less than 0. What does that mean? That means cos needs to be negative. Now, where is cos negative?
Second.
Second and third. Alright, that might be helpful to me. Then further, what do I want here? I want a single trigonometry ratio. So I'm gonna make sine of x the subject. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna take first over the square root of negative 3. That becomes square root of
3.
just positive square root 3. And then
Divide
what am
by-
I going to do next? Divide by 2 on both sides, so that becomes sine of x is equals to square root 3 divided by
2.
2. Here I can see that my sine ratio is positive. I'm going to use, where's my sine ratio? First and second. Where am I going to draw my diagram? Second. So I go and I draw a nice and neat sketch where I'm going to fill in all of the information that I have. This I know is actually what? Sine is opposite over hypotenuse. I'm going to say in the second quadrant I'm going to draw a triangle with a 90 degrees. The angle runs from here and that is actually the angle S. Then I know my opposite side is going to be
Square root of 3 and 2.
This one is going to be 2. We can work with Pythagoras, but we should also know that this answer is 1. You can go check it by Pythagoras, but if you know special triangles,
Is it positive 1?
it's going to be.
Is it positive 1, sir?
Thank you. Is it positive 1 or negative 1?
Negative 1.
Negative 1.
Chin.
That's going to be negative 1 because the x's are negative on that side. Right. Any other information that we need here? Now we can go answering the questions. So my prep work, once again, my prep work is done. Now it becomes easier. So it's almost like this is your exercise or this is your preparation, preparing for your question, preparing for the event. Now I haven't even looked at the question, but now I go to the question now. Cos squared of x. What is cos squared of x? Adjacent over hypotenuse. So that's going to be negative 1 over 2. And I'm going to square that, which equals to negative 1 over 4. Positive 1 over 4. 4.2. I have sine of 180 plus x and tan of 360 minus x. Sine 180 plus x. Which quadrant is that? Third quadrant. What is sine in the third quadrant? That becomes negative sine. Tan 360 minus x. Which quadrant am I working here? Fourth quadrant. What is tan in my fourth quadrant?
Negative.
Negative. So that becomes negative tan of x. What can we see here now? That negative and that negative
Cancel out.
cancel out. Negative cancels out. Now I'm going to write what is sine of x?
Opposite of hypotenuse.
Opposite of hypotenuse. So what is my opposite side here? Square root 3
over 2.
over 2 divide by
Square root 3.
tan is opposite over adjacent. So the opposite side here is
Square root 3
square root
over
3
negative 1.
over negative 1. This now becomes
2
square root 3 over 2 times with the reciprocal, which is negative 1 over
Square root 3.
square root 3.
That cancels out.
Those cancel out, so I'm left
Negative
once
half.
again with negative. Let's quickly see if we could have done this other way. I have the sine of x over tan of x. But tan of x I can always rewrite as sine of x over sine of x over cos of x. That basically means I have sine of x over 1 multiplied with cos of x over sine of x. Then this one and this one cancels out. And then I have cos of x. And then that gives me back to that answer right there. Question number 4.3. 4.3. It is cos of 90 minus x. Whenever I see 90 plus 90 minus, what am I thinking of?
Co-functions.
Co-functions or co-ratios. And then I have cos of 30. So cos of 90 minus x is equals to sine of x. So that becomes sine of x, and this becomes cos of 30. What is the cos of 30 again? Yes? Square root 3 over 2. And then we're going to have sine of x. I go to my diagram. What is sine of x? It is negative square root 3
Over
over
2.
2 multiplied with square root 3 over 2. This is equals to square root times the square root is equals to 3 over
4.
4. Right. I think I'm going to stop there for now. I'm going to allow you to continue with the exercise. Alright? Please take down these notes. Go back, pause the video, rewind, and then